Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining. Today we'll go through fields, lookups, and knowledge objects as a part of Splunk 101 series. Just to remind everyone, we have a session scheduled for next 4 Fridays as well. We have already completed two. This one is the third session of the series, and the videos are available on YouTube. And the upcoming sessions will be live, just like this. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Rishabh.
Sure. Thank you, Meet. Yeah, all right. So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for joining. I know it's Friday, and some of you might like there will be holiday as well on the occasion of Good Friday, but still you have managed to take some time out and join this session. So, really appreciate that. Yeah, I'll start with a little introduction of and go further with the presentation. So yeah, my name is Rishabh Shah. I almost have 6+ years of experience now, industry experience in Splunk. I have done Splunk up to Splunk architect level certification as well. Contributed to much customer projects. Lots of cases, ODS, and all. So the journey revolved around Splunk itself. So yeah, that's me. I'll keep it very short. But yeah, today we will majorly talk about, as Meet mentioned, regarding the fields lookup and knowledge objects. I'll probably share my screen. Just give me. Just let me know once it's visible.
Yep, we can say that.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, as I said, we'll basically talk more about how we can enrich the data using fields, lookup, and all of this. Okay. So the agenda looks more like this, like how fields work in Splunk. Then how we can extract the fields using different methods like interactive field extraction, rex, and another is example-based rex, or which is called erex. Then we'll talk about lookups, how we can enrich the data using the lookups. Then we'll talk about tags and event types as well. I have mentioned lab and Q&A as a fifth option, but typically I will take those lab or practical showings in between each topics, like between extracting the fields, lookups, and tagging and types, so that you can relate the theoretical part and the examples as well. And yeah, definitely you can ask the questions in between, so you can get it cleared while the topic is live. So yeah, that will be part of an agenda today. Let's move on to the first part, that is how fields work. Okay, so typically, let's assume that we have an event. Okay, just a simple event, one-liner event. Having time. Okay, some time value. Then there is a comma Rishabh Shah, comma 1.2.3.4. Okay, so this is example event. By the look at it, we know that yeah, Rishabh is a username and 1.2.3.4 is sort of an IP. Okay, but Splunk does not know, and someone who is not much familiar with the data might struggle as well. Okay, so in this type of scenario, uh, having a key value pair or a fields would really help to enhance the data, or how would it impact the searching as well. Okay, so typically if there are 1000 events without any fields, and I want to search events which are having my name, I would just write sort of a command Rishabh after index source and source type in the SPL. Okay, but that will bring up the events which contains my name. Okay, but what if out of 10,000 events I want to bring, let's say, my username along with Meet's username events. Okay, so in that scenario, if there is a field called user, okay, in which 10 users are listed down, and I want to bring the events of mine and Meet's out of those 10,000, so I'll typically like user in Rishabh and Meet, okay, comma Meet. So that will bring 2000 events. So in this way, fields will help us to filtering the events, bring minimalize data whatever we want in search, instead of bringing all the events all together and then we manually search it. So those are some of the benefits of how the fields work. I'll show you when we go into one example, like where we see the fields, what how does it looks like and all. But before that, let's quickly jump into one of the main scenario, that how many type of extractions, right? So like fields are somewhat automatically extracted by Splunk, but some are we need to extract it manually. So those extractions are majorly two types. One of them is extraction and another is search time extraction. Okay, index time extraction, if we talk about it, as the name suggests, right, it happens at the index time. Okay, it's typically called store extraction as well. So those type of extractions are done when the logs are basically ingested into an index. Okay, so for example, if any event is getting ingested in Splunk, we do see some of the feeds like host, source type, index, and all, which are automatically being extracted if we don't write extractions as well, right? So those are some of the examples of the index time extractions, which Splunk does by default, and we see it from which host these logs are coming, what is the source of this logs, what are the source type, and etc. Okay, so those are the index time extractions. So they are typically defined in props.conf and transforms.conf. I have given one example below how does the props and transforms would look like. But before that, there are some advantages and disadvantages of them. Like everything comes with advantages and disadvantages, right? So typically the index times fields are much more faster to search. Okay, so since those are already passed, you already have field present. Okay, whenever you are bringing up the logs, you don't have to worry about writing the field extraction and anything. It's already there from the time the data was ingested. Okay, so it's much easy. It's much faster to search it. Whenever we are searching. However, there are some disadvantages, like it cannot be changed after indexing. So for example, I did some minor mistake. Okay, so instead of user, I just did a small spelling mistake. Instead of user, I just write usr. Okay, and then I posted. So all of the fields will be extracted based on the field name USR. Okay, so like 1,000 events got ingested in Splunk, it will have USR as a field name. Now, let's say if I want to correct my mistake, I want to change it to USER as a field name. I need to redeploy my props, to change that particular field name. So it will be only applied to the logs which are coming after I made the changes. Okay, so the logs which already got ingested, it will still have the USR as a field name, since it happened on the go while the logs were ingesting. So let's say after my update, there are new 1,000 events coming in it. Then that will have USER, and the previous events will still have the USR as a field name. Okay, so those are some sort of advantages and disadvantages of index time. I have created one example. Like if you see, it's not a altogether whole event, but part of an event contains user equals to John, action equals to login, environment equals to prod. Okay, so for now, if I want to extract username as a extraction, I have to write a transform which will have some name like extract env, and then we have to call that particular transform, and we have to specify the regex that yeah, these are the environment value, and then we extract the username. So this will be basically deployed in the props.conf and transform.conf. Yeah. So those that was more about index time. If we talk about search time extraction, which we also call on the fly extractions, so these are the extractions which are done while the search is running. Okay. So for example, if the logs are already ingested and we need some of the fields which are not by default in extracted, or it's not extracted at the index time, still we need some of the custom fields which are at the search time. It's very useful, right? So we can create extractions called search time. There are multiple ways to do it, as I mentioned earlier, like ifx, rex, and erex. So it's very flexible, and like we can typically write it on the spl, like using the piperex command. I'll show it how it will look like, but yeah, it's more easier. And along with that, we can directly push it using the props.conf. Okay, so the similar approach, like for a specific source type in which the logs are present, I want to extract the user, so we just have to mention the regex after extract the extract name, and similarly for action. So those that particular part will work. The advantage of this particular extraction is it will work on all the logs. It does not matter whether the logs were ingested earlier or ingested at the later part. It will basically work for all the events. So in case you made a mistake, you just change it, you just correct it, and all the events will have the updated username. Okay, for example. It's not a hardcore requirement that yeah, only the logs previously or the future logs will be applied. It will be applied to future logs only, but yeah, it can be applied to all the logs which are coming in that particular time range. Okay, so that is the advantage. The only caveat is everything comes with a cost, right? So slight cpu cost per search can be increased, but let's, if I talk about in a small layman language, right? So we are adding one line after our query. Okay, so simply from index, source type, or anything, now I want to extract the user, we are adding one more line with piperex. So it's sort of a few new computation that Splunk has to do on regarding in the SPL. So that will come as a cost. Okay, so that's the more around the search time. So yeah, two things: index time and search time extraction. Any questions till this point?
Yeah, one of the feedback from previous sessions where the participants were not able to, unmute themselves, which I have, which I have fixed this time. So just feel free to, unmute and have the discussion. This is session. It's a community session. It's not something I or Rishabh or someone presenting. So if you have any questions, let's have a discussion on that as well. All right, I think we're good,
Okay.
Rishabh.
Yeah, yeah, but I will take that as no. Yeah. So I'll move to next part for extracting the fields. I have just written down some of the syntax for now, but after this, I'll just move to live example. So yeah, in order to extract the fields, we can use the rex command, as I said. So typically, it starts with pipe, and we can specify field equals to underscore raw or any other field. By default it will be applied to raw if we don't mention it. But if there is any field out of which we have to extract something, then we have to mention that, and in the double quotes we just have to put the regular expression. That particular regular expression will have the capturing group, and what's particular capturing group we have to mention, and based on that the field name will be associated. And once we have the field extracted using the rex command, we can use it for the whatever purposes, like stats, time chart, whatever computations we are doing further. So that was the syntax of rex. Erex is much more simpler as compared to Rex because it eliminates the use of regular expression. I'll show you how it works, but yeah, just for a syntax purpose, we can use it by pipe erex, and then we have to specify the field name, what would be the name of the extracted field, and then we have to put examples like what does the value look like. Okay, so after specifying those examples, it's Splunk's job to create the regular expressions, or automatically it does all the job from our and it helps us to extract the field. Okay, and method called IFX, interactive field extraction. It's I can show you that particular example as well. And just FYI, like the Rex uses the PCRE regex expression. So I'll show you the regular expression as well. So yes, just give me a second. I will bring up this screen. Yes. Let me know once my like you can see my screen, right? I think yes. Okay. All right. So as you can see, I have just commented out the Rex part for now, but I have just created a one small event. Okay, I mentioned I had gave this example earlier as well. Like there is one event called event with just time, my name, and some random IP. So at the first glance, the raw event it does not look good to me. Like what is Rishabh? What is 3.4.5.6, right? Even Splunk don't know at this particular moment. Okay, so we can extract this. We can put a capturing group and get a field name associated with it. So typically, I use in order to create the regular expression, I use regex 101, which is much familiar to me. You can use any other tools as available, but yeah, you can use any tools. But I use specifically this one because it helps us to visualize properly, like what are the groups, capturing groups. It highlights in different color, like what is captured, what is not captured, and all. So it's for me. So for this particular event, right? This is the regular expression uh, which I have written. Probably we'll take it in the later session how to write the regular expression, but it's a big thing. So I will not waste much time on this one. But yeah, as you can see, I have just mentioned slash D in order to capture the digits, W for words, and typically for IP as well. So I can create a regex from regex 101, and then I can use it over here. So uh, without Rex, the event looks something like this. And I can just uncomment this and run this to show you how the fields are restricted. So yeah, as you can see, the raw logs now give some more value. Okay, so it gives me time, name, and IP. So now I'll be able to use this particular you know events in order to search something properly. Okay, like if there is an IP, that the Rishabh Shah is the name, 3.4.6 is an IP, and then this is the time. Okay, so it's very simple thing. Like we have to specify Rex and just the regular expression. Okay, that's the thing we have to specify. Now if we don't specify this exception will be gone. Okay, so it will be very hard or challenging, like every time we write down the Rex expression, and sometimes if we forget it, we won't get the extraction. Okay, so you can hard code it, as I mentioned, using the props.conf file, right? So if we put this particular expression in the props.conf file using extract, the example that I showed you earlier, that will eliminate the use of, that will still is a search time extraction, but it will eliminate the use of rex command every time. So you don't have to worry about rex every time. You can directly run raw events, and on the left hand side you will see the fields. So for example, Yeah. So for example, these are some of the internal events, and these are the fields, right? On the left hand side, you can see. So by default, the fields will be visible here if you like write the browse.conf. Okay. So though that type of thing can be done in order to eliminate the use of rex command every time. Okay. So this is an example of rex. I'll move on to the next part, that is called erex. So yeah, this really looks hard for someone who is writing the regex for the first time. Okay, because they have to build understanding how do I capture the time, how capture digits or words or all. Okay, so this whole expression, if you don't want to waste time on this one, then Splunk's got your back. Okay, so Splunk can definitely do it without that particular worry of learning the regex. Okay, so I have created three events for now. Okay, so simple raw events. My name is Rishabh and my email ID is this. This is some example events. Okay, now using, if I want to extract email ID. Okay, so I have kept both of the examples. How can we do using the rex, and how can we do it using the erex? So I'll simply try to do with rex for now. Okay, so the rex. Again, we have to write the regex expression as I mentioned. So we will see the fields, email ID field getting extracted. Yeah, as you can see over here, the fields are getting extracted. Okay, so Rishabh at the rate company. Now, if you don't want to waste time on regex, you can directly use erex. So the syntax looks something like this, like close this one, yeah. Erex, and then we have to specify the field name. Okay, like what name I have to give to field. In this case, I am giving as email ID, and I have to specify the examples in a comma separated manner. Okay, like what does the example look like? I have given example as rishabh@company.com, meet@company.com. Okay, so that will these are this. I have still not given the dave@company.com in the example, but Splunk will still do its magic and will extract the field as email ID. Okay, so all the hard work of writing the regex, wasting time on that part, it's gone. Splunk has done automatically, and we just have to give the command in very layman language term. Okay, that will basically help us to extract the field much. So yeah, this is the example of erex. Any questions on rex and erex till this point? If not, I will move to uh, ERX. Like, okay, cool. So where was I? There we go. This one. Okay. So for example, typically, like, I don't want to use rex or erex both. Okay, in this scenario I have to go with GUI based extraction. So on the left hand side you will see an option called extract new fields. Okay, so if I just open it, the extract new, it's very user friendly way. Okay, so I can specify the time range, just minutes, and there will be events. So I just have to select one sample event. Okay, so yeah, I selected this particular sample event, and then I will click. So this is the first part is done. Like, we have selected the sample events, and we will move to the next part where we have to select the method. So there are two methods, using the regular expressions or the delimiters. Okay, so in this scenario I will not take the delimiters because I don't see the data being present in a delimiterized form. So if it is a CSV or any other delimiter form data, okay, typically majorly in the case CSVs, right? But if it is not there, we can go for regular expression. So in this case I will go with the regular expression method, and then I'll select the next part. Now we just have to highlight what we want to extract. Okay, so we cannot do the square mark because those are already extracted. So in order to show you the example, I'll just select the time. Okay, so I want to name it as event underscore time. Okay, and I'll just write add extraction. So this particular event underscore time will be extracted. So all the events, as you can see, are highlighted now, and there is a field created event underscore time over here. uh, which are extracted from this raw event. Okay, you can use it in this manner as well, like how many uh, either the unique counts and everything are there, and you can typically visualize it. And after that, we can validate it. We can also see the regular expressions. So again, yeah, if you don't want to use erex as well, like if you are worried that erex is not showing me the correct value even after, that's not going to be a case. But if it shows some fluctuations, we can use this particular approach as well. It approach GUI based, it will also write down for you. Okay, you then don't have to worry about the regex again. So after validation, yeah, I can see like all the event time which are extracted over here. So and I can just go to the next part and save it. So typically this would, I'll not finish it, but yeah, as you can see, it will create an extract hyphen which links back to the props.conf file I have shared over here, right? So this is again the extract part, right? So everything is linked. Like this will again create the extract value, and it will basically have the regular expression as well, and it will create a props.conf file in the backend. So you don't have to write rex or erex again and again, as I mentioned earlier. So this will also make your work much more easier. Okay, so this is how you can do a GUI based exception as well. So those are the ways to do a search time extractions. Any questions till this point? Okay, I'll take this as no, and without wasting much time, we can go to the next topic uh, called lookups. Okay, so lookups are something which helps us to enrich the data if there is something we cannot find it from the raw. Okay, uh, for example, I have some raw event. Okay, with my name. I'll keep the same example as well, so it's easy for you to relate. But that particular raw event does not have other information like what is my uh, state, which city I belong to, which state I belong to, and which country I belong to. Okay, so those type of external information, it's not present in the raw log, but I need it for some report. I need it for some visualization. Okay, or for any other work. I need those information which are not present in the raw. Okay, then how do I get those things? So we can use some external lookups, external files without them in Splunk. Okay, so it's typically not index data, but it's outside data. We can put it in the form of lookups. It's there are two type of lookup. I'll come to that point. But yeah, those are the files which can be used to combine raw events plus external data in order to bring our desired logs and enrich whole for our better visualization and reporting purpose. Okay, so typically lookup as I said, add context from external tables, whether it is CSV KV store. So yeah, there are two types of lookups: a CSV lookup and then the KV store lookups. Okay, and in this example I have given, like if we have to map any IP address to a country, city, or owner, we can do it. Okay, there are few commands which can be used to pull the logs from lookup to map it. There are commands. I will show it practically as well. Then there is something called output lookup as well. So for example, I have a file, external file, which contains 10 lines, but I derived something from my raw events which can be added to a lookup that can be used later on. Okay, so for example, I have to add one code line which I derived from the raw events. Okay, so I have to write that particular file back to the lookup. Okay, so out from the raw events that I generated. It's not from the values which are present in the lookup. So I can use output lookup command, then the lookup name. There are some of the modes, whether I have to replace the whole file or I have to append it. So using that particular mode, we can add the data back to the lookup. So the lines will move from 10 to 11. Okay, in that label language. So that is one. Another thing is called automatic lookups. Automatic lookups is something we don't have to manually call the lookups every time we run the searches. Okay, but it will just look at the that are being generated from the query, and if we have mapped the event fields with the lookup fields, it will bring the associated fields or required fields which we need to bring from lookup. So those are the automatic work we can do it. Another thing is KV store lookup. It's MongoDB backed. I can say, if you have sort of a dynamic data or large data, KV store is much beneficial in terms of those particular types of lookup. So ideally, if the work is very low, if the logs, if the events in the lookup are very less, typically a CSV lookup will work. But if it's higher and dynamic, then we can use the KV store lookups as well. Okay, so I will go to the lookup part. So yeah, typically you can create a lookup using the Splunk lookup editor app. Okay, it's called Splunk app for lookup editor generator. So it's very easy. Like on the right hand side corner, you can see an option to create a new lookup or a KV store, load a KV store lookup. Okay, to make a work more easier, I have already created one sample lookup for us. So if we go inside that particular sample lookup, as you can see, I have created. It's more like an Excel file. Okay, as a as an Excel file where I have added columns like my name is Rishabh, nationality, state, city, full name, and a contact. Okay, so this particular file has been saved. Now how do I call this lookup file, to view the data using the SQL? Okay, so there is a command called pipe input lookup over here. You can use pipe input lookup command and then the lookup command name, and then you can run it. So it will basically bring on the logs. So in a statistics manner. Okay, so whatever we have saved here, you can typically view it using the pipe input lookup command. Okay, so then you can do all the necessary actions like eval and other stuff that you want to do. But yeah, if you are calling it for the first time and you want to visualize the logs from the lookup itself, you can use it using the pipe input lookup command. Okay, now yeah, any questions till now? Okay, sure. I'll move to next part now. So, for example, I have created one more, a sample event which has user and IP. Okay, but I don't have, more details like what is the state associated with this user, what is the IP, where does I belong to, what are the contexts and all. Okay, so in order to bring that, we can do it using the pipe lookup command. Okay, instead of input lookup, if we want to map it. So for this example, I have just used make results command, but you can use the index itself, like whatever index you are searching it, and it works with that part as well. It's nothing like we have to bring this data from make results only. It's just for example. So this is how it looks like pipe lookup, and use it as a syntax like a sample lookup.csv, and then user as user. Okay, so we have to specify is present in the lookup and how and how we are mapping it with the index data. So this is up to this point is the index data which has the user as the field, and our lookup also has the user field. Okay, but this particular data does not have this time ct, however it's present in the lookup. Okay, so in order to bring it, we can use this lookup command where I have to specify the column name, and then event column name, which is user in this case, and then whatever data, additional data we need being output it from the file. So we can specify using the output and the full name and all. So if we just see this, and we can see, so like instead of just you along with user and IP, that is Rishabh and one, I have additional details like city this belongs to, what is the state, and what is the nationality, and what is the full name. Okay, so uh, this is how it helps us to add more value from a simple raw events. Okay, so this is the use of pipe lookup command. Yeah, any questions till now? Awesome. I'll take this as no. I move to the next part, which is which are tags and event types. So as the name suggests, right? How does tags and event types? So you might have seen, like, if we have to uh, you know, combine a bunch of events for our visualization purpose. Okay, we have to pair it with something like, you know, I know that these IPs are part of uh, router IPs. Okay, I know this type of IP are other device IP. Okay, so I can tag that particular IPs using the router IPs and all, and I can use that particular tag in creating the searches. Similarly, there are called event types. Okay, event types are the same such conditions with a given name, and we can also additionally provide the color as well. So as you can see, like for example, there is a one search which has a different source type as Linux authentication failure in the example. Okay, so all the fail events I will add it to an event type called failed login. So whenever I search with event type equals to failed login, I will get the logs associated with that particular search running behind it. So event type we can consider it as a function in normal coding language. Like there is a function. It works for different thing like macro as well. But event type also we can consider it like we can specify the query running behind it, and it will basically pull those particular events. Okay, so I'll again uh, move to a real example. I'll create one, on the go, so it helps us. So, for example, I search with index like this logs in the last 15 minutes, like what are the logs inside the internal index. And I'm much more interested in to see the license usage logs. Okay, so what are the license users? So if I just type down every time the source equals to this one and this one, these two things, then it will be very hard. Like every time I have to type down two different things. Instead of this, I can club everything into one event type, and that particular event type can be loaded directly. Okay, so I will go to settings, event types, and we'll create a new event type where we have to specify the search as well. So yeah, I'll just name it as over all license events. Okay, and I will write out a search string in order to pull those logs. So as you can see, in order to bring those logs, I have to specify these two sources. Okay, so I'll just write source in this, and so, okay, and I'll search this part. All right. So as you can see, we only got the logs from this two sources. Okay, and I'll use this particular query as my event type. Okay, so every time I don't have to write, I'm much more lazy to write this large query, so I can create an event type. I'll also name a tag. We can see the tag example later, but yeah, I'll create a tag as well for this one, like with the same name, like overall license events. I will put color as none as of now, but or I can probably give it with red. Let's see. Okay, so I'll save it. Yeah, as you can see, an event type is created. I will just change some permissions from private to this. Anyone can read. There you go. Save. Okay, now what I just have to do is, instead of writing this particular big query, I just have to write event types, and in last 15 minutes I will search. Yeah, there you go, and you will see the logs coming from these two sources itself, like the metrics and license usage, what the search query we have provided in the backend. Okay, so this will help us to reduce the query, and it's more like we have applied a tag, like it's more like we have applied instead of writing the long search query, I just have to remember what's the event type that I have created for this purpose, because I use this particular query very frequently, right? So in that scenarios, the event types are much useful, to bring those values out of it. And for example, if I uh, remove this and I add it's coming down for now. I'll bring this log as well. Start. Okay, in the source. Yeah. So I talked about the color, right? So as you can see now, you can see on the left hand side there are colored events. Okay. So those colored events belongs to the logs which are present inside, which comes under this particular source. You will not see the color if we just look at the watchdog log. Okay. So out of the three sources which are coming in, I'll see the logs colored with this particular two sources. Okay, and others will be not colored. So this is how it helps us to bifurcate the events using the event types. It's much better for a visualization. Uh, Okay, I cannot find the uncolored one, but yeah, that's how it works. Okay, so this is typically around the event type, and if I talk about tag as well. Okay, so I have let me just create a tag. I so like I just want to view. logs from the indexers. Okay, just the indexers. I don't want to view any logs from any other host. So if we search it with just index and source type, we'll see logs from all the hosts. Okay, so there will be around there are around 24 hosts, and if we just do set sound by host. Yeah, there are many hosts like Searcher, Custom Masters, Indexes as well. Now I already created one of the tags which search for host equals to indexers. Okay, so I'll show you like how to create a new tag. So just by going into settings into tags, I can write down the field value pair over here. Okay, where I can mention like what source. Right. So, for example, I will create the host equals to sh star. Just want to search my log from the search head. So I'll just name it as search heads, and we'll save this particular tags. Okay, and I will search. Change the permissions. Awesome. So now I have tagged all the host which starts with sh as the search heads. Okay. So my tag value is the search head. So as you can see, instead of indexers which I created earlier, we can create. So I will add one filter called tag equals to search heads. Yeah, that will only bring me the logs with the searchers. Okay, so this is how tags helps us to bifurcate the logs, and you will also see those tags being added to the raw events. So this is how basically the event types and tags would work. Then there are other things as macros. I'll just give a heads up on that part. uh, Macro is something, it's sort of a function as I mentioned. Instead of if we have to reuse the search every time, okay, there is a one chunk of the event which we have to use every time for in multiple, let's say, alerts or dashboards or somewhere. Okay, we can create a macro of that particular chunk. So instead of writing those 10 for example, the macro, the chunk, SPL query chunk is of 10 lines. Okay, we don't have to write those 10 lines every time. We just can call the macro. It's sort of a like a function, and yeah, there you go. So it helps us to create a much more easier way to uh, play with the SQL in a very easy manner. If you are lazy writing all these big searches and the repetitive works are there, you can use this type of objects in which are provided by Splunk. To enhance your or enrich your searches. Okay, so that's was more around tags and event types. Any question? Okay, I'll take this as no. So yeah, I'll just what were the key takeaways for this one are what we learned basically till this point of time, like regarding the fields, and the default fields are, as I mentioned, host, source, and source type, and underscore raw. Okay, so those are the fields which are extracted by Splunk by default at the index time. So that are basically very helpful to identify from which host the logs are coming, from which particular file, or typically the source from which the logs are coming, and source type is like whatever bifurcations we add at the source type we have created. And the other thing is like we can use IFX method, like the interactive field extraction, or Rex command to extract the custom fields at the search time. Then there is a lookup, which are helping us to add more context to our values. If there is something missing in the raw, we can basically add it using the lookups. Then there are tags and event types to normalize the data, to get a better visualization, to get a better idea, like which events belongs to which particular segment, like that. So yeah, those were the points that we discussed in this session. I hope it was helpful to you. Though examples that I have given. I hope you are able to get that and you can use it in your regular day-to-day basis. Yeah, I guess this was me for now. If you have any questions, overall questions uh, from this particular topic, you can just shout it out right now. Okay. I don't think so. We have any questions. So yeah, I guess that was it for today. I'll give you 5 minutes back from the schedule time, and we'll see you on the next session, which is session 4. The next session is on next Friday, same time. The topic will be the statistical commands and transforming searches. Looking forward there in the next session as well. And do reach out to me or meet in the community if you have any questions related to the topics till now, and if you have any doubts regarding the future sessions as well. And yeah, looking forward to see you in the next sessions. All right, cheers. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.